Hello, everyone. I'm going to be foregoing my normal intro. Okay, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that all. When you do subscribe, click that bell. Hit all. Please comment on the video down below as well. Give the video a thumbs up. Um, Man, I'm here to tell y'all about the New York Jets trading Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner. Yes, this is the truth. It's not a joke. Okay, we know the trade deadline is here, and the Jets decided to make these moves before the trade deadline. There was a lot of rumors swirling about various other players, Brees Hall, Jermaine Johnson, Garrett Wilson being another one as well. But according to reports, Garrett Wilson is untouchable. Teams did make calls about him, but the Jets said no way. Okay. But man, these moves were stunning. Sauce Gardner, we're gonna cover him first. Okay. Sauce Gardner's been traded to the Colts. This is wild to even say that. The New York Jets get a 2026 first round pick. They get a 2027 first round pick, and they get a wide receiver, A.D. Mitchell. All right? And the Colts get Sauce Gardner. Listen, man, I was stunned by this trade. Out of all the players, on the team, Sauce, he wasn't even a guy that was even talked about as being a trade target, as being a guy that the Jets could move on from. His name was never really brought up in rumors at all. And here we have them moving on from Sauce. I was stunned. I thought it was a lie at first. I truly did. I checked multiple, I'm talking multiple sources, and they were all saying the same thing. And that was the only reason why I came to the conclusion, like, oh, this is facts. This is true. This is facts. Okay. Sauce himself was even shocked by the news as well, according to reports. He was stunned. His agent, which is his brother, was stunned as well that the Jets made the move. But the Jets did call him and let him know that, hey, this is what we're doing, and that it was just a business decision. It's not, about you or anything. So he doesn't have any, the report said he doesn't have any ill will, and he understands that this is a business decision, for the New York Jets, and it doesn't really have to do anything with him as a player. I'm stunned, man. I'm still stunned by this. To talk about Sauce Gardner not being a Jet is mind blowing. This guy has been phenomenal since he's been here. All Pro, Pro Bowler, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Like he is everything that you would hope, okay, you would get from a defensive guy that you draft. All right? That's what he's been here. And not only has he been really good on the field, because he clearly is one of the top corners in the league. He's one of the best, okay? One of the best. But, if not the best, but he's also, pretty big, with the fans. The fans love him as well. He's a guy that is beloved across the fan base. Nobody hates Sauce Gardner here. But here we are, right? And even Sauce himself loved the Jets so much that I think it was recently in the media, maybe last season, where he talked about how, this is before he got his deal, he said, hey, I want to be a Jet. I want to be here to turn things around. And if the Jets move on from me, or if I move on from the Jets, and they turn things around without me here, I'm going to be the biggest hater. I'm going to be the biggest Jets hater you ever known. So that's why people were so excited when he got his deal. It's like, and I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this secondary now. No Michael Carter. He's gone. He's playing for the Eagles now. The Jets moved on from him, which wasn't the biggest deal. But now you move on from Sauce Gardner as well, who's one of the top corners, if not the top corner in the NFL. And I'm looking at the secondary and I'm like, bro, this is Swiss cheese. It's Swiss cheese. And I'm wondering, right? Like, okay, well, what is going to be the next move? Because the Jets get some draft capital from this move. Bro, you guys brought in Brandon Stevens to solve that number 2 cornerback spot. I'm starting to wonder, hey, do you really think you guys can go out there and get yourself another Sauce Gardner? Another guy that's going to step in and be as great as he was here. I'll give my thoughts on that a little bit later, but Quinnen Williams, we're gonna talk about him next. Now, Quinnen Williams gets traded to the Dallas Cowboys. The Jets get a 2027 first round pick and a 2026 second round pick, and Mozzie Smith, okay, and the Cowboys get Quinnen Williams. Now, this trade, I was a little shocked by, but as reports started to continue to filter out, and just things that we had heard previously as well, it started to not be as shocking because this trade was made because the relationship between Quinnen Williams and the Jets deteriorated. Okay, and we're starting to hear more and more about that deterioration as the time continues on. But let me tell you something. I remember, let's go a little bit further back. Quinnen Williams was not happy about Aaron Rodgers getting moved on from by the New York Jets, right? He even tweeted about it where he basically said something to the point of, hey, well, here's another rebuilding year for me, okay? Not happy about it. He made his made his thoughts about that publicly known, okay? So much so that even Aaron Glenn said that he had, addressed that tweet with Quinnen Williams privately and also addressed it publicly with the media as well. Because Aaron Glenn himself came out and said that this was not going to be a rebuild, that this was about, they were going to win now. They were going to win. They weren't going into a rebuild. Well, when you look at how the season continued to play out, and then you also hear about how Quinnen Williams went to the Jets, and requested to rework his deal, and they denied that things really started going downhill. And what's crazy about this is if you look at what the Jets are doing now, seems as if what Quinnen Williams thought was going to happen, the rebuild talk, is happening. So he was right from the jump. And things just weren't going well. So he had actually requested a trade as well from the Jets, and this is where he wanted to go to the Dallas Cowboys, and they made it happen. So, again, another guy that has been here, that has been really good. Quinnen Williams has been phenomenal. That's why he got the deal that he got. A guy that has been a staple on the Jets defensive front. Now you look at the Jets defensive front, it is not, there's not much there, okay? Especially when we talk about defensive tackle. And I think the Jets, this is going to be felt for the rest of the season. And you got to wonder, can the Jets get another defensive tackle, the ilk of Quinnen Williams, and have him up front and, be able to put things together, man? I don't know. And after these trades, you start to wonder, bro, can Aaron Glenn and Moogie get this thing figured out and turned around? Because at this point, you're going into a rebuild. This is a rebuild. You can try to mask it and say all these other things, bro. You're going into a rebuild, okay? And if you look at some of the decisions that they've already made, right? One, let's talk about it. Moving on from Aaron Rodgers, bringing in Justin Fields. They were about to bench Justin Fields like 6.5 weeks into him being the starting quarterback. And that's the guy that they chose to move on from Aaron Rodgers with. That was their choice. The only reason why Justin Fields was not benched was because Tyrod Taylor's knee didn't hold up. That's the only reason why he wasn't on the bench. That's it. And we all know that, okay? And there's multiple sources that reported that they were leaning towards starting Tyrod Taylor because they didn't think that Justin Fields was the guy to continue to move forward with the offense. Now, Justin Fields comes out, has a really good game against the Bengals, and we'll see what happens continuing to go forward. But that in itself is like, that was your quarterback choice, though. Can we trust you to go into the draft and get a quarterback? Also, Brandon Stephens, another decision as well, which people, listen, Brandon Stephens for the most part of the season has been terrible. The only games where he was like solid was against the Panthers and the Broncos. And those two games, right, neither one of those offenses are like stellar in this league. And with Sauce Gardner being gone, I think he'll continue to be exposed even more. He was bad when he was on the Ravens. So, I don't know, man. I just think that we're trading guys. Now, the Quinnen Williams trade, again, I'm starting to understand more. But even then, bro, we're trading guys that are like foundational building blocks for your team. Okay, now the Jets got capital. They got 2 first-round picks in 2026. They have 2 second-round picks as well. In 2027, they have 3 first-round picks. They gotta get guys in here, bro. They gotta get it done. They really, really do. Because you start to look at this team and you start to look at the rest of this team. Guys like, Brees Hall, Jermaine Johnson, um, man, various other guys. And you got to start to wonder when those guys are going to be like, you know what, you guys, I'm going to find a way to get up out of here too. Because you guys are not putting things together. If the Jets don't find a way to get it done, if this front office doesn't find a way to get more talent in here and get this turned around and get this in a playoff direction, I can see this really collapsing. And my biggest thing, right, is that yes, the roster doesn't have the greatest talent, but there's been major struggles in the coaching department. And this is something that, excuse me, not a lot of people are talking about. We've seen Aaron Glenn and his staff struggle a lot this year, a lot, with game management. We've seen them struggle, making calls, getting plays. Like there's been a lot of issues coaching wise here with the New York Jets, and so you got to wonder, like, all right, well, even if you get the talent in here, do you have the coaching that's good enough to get them to the next level? Because even this younger talent that you bring in, you guys are going to have to coach these guys up. Are you prepared to do so? Like that's another big question here as well. And I don't want to pass up that point either. We'll see what happens going forward. Again, I like Aaron Glenn. I really, really do. And I want him to be the guy. And I want Moogie to turn this around as well. But these moves, I just don't know. I don't know. Comment down below. Let me know what you folks think. How do you folks feel, all right, about these trades? What are your thoughts about what you've seen? What are your thoughts about Sauce Gardner being a Colt? How do you feel about Quinnen Williams being sent to the Cowboys? What are your thoughts about Aaron Glenn and Moogie, man? Do you think they have what it takes to turn it around? Comment down below. Let me know what you folks think. You folks have a good one. Peace.